True Heart Believers. How you doing today? It's day 34 of 100 days of drawing. If you notice the camera's kind of wobbling, it's because it's connected to the desk here, and I'm using the desk, so that's why it's wobbling. So that's why I have a wobbly camera. Anyways, I'm kind of ranting about nothing really. So it's day 34, and I'm happy to start this drawing. I got about 30 minutes of drawing time before I wrap it up for the day, and then we'll continue drawing it throughout the day. I typically try to do that, and this is going to be a little bit different because I actually have the microphone attached to my headset now, so I can talk. I have a regular microphone that I use for interviews, but I always have to turn around and talk to it, so it doesn't really work out for me. So this is going to be a little bit more functional for me, and I can talk a little bit lower in tone, so I'm not waking up anyone. Anyways, let's begin. I got some drawing to do. All right, so got to put the timer on like usual for 30 minutes, and then just get going, try to go as fast as I can. Typically, I just try to go as quickly as I can, but I'm actually quite slow at drawing. I'm kind of jealous of some of those other artists that are able to draw like these quick sketches of the still life. I've gotten a little bit better, but I guess maybe my own what would you call it, self-doubts kind of come into play. And I didn't set the camera up the way that I wanted to, but it's going to be fun. There we go, we work like that. I didn't realize the camera is going to be bumping in my head. So I'm going to be drawing a little smaller today because I got 4 objects here. 4 objects, and it's going to be kind of difficult because I typically draw rather large, so it's going to be a challenge to draw this small. And already I'm noticing some problems, so I'm just messing around. So I do these little oval forms to kind of get an idea where the objects will be placed in the composition, because I'm never really quite sure where I'm going to put them, and just doing these circles kind of gives me a rough idea where things are going to go. The thing about doing these specific type of drawings, these specific type of still life drawings, is I don't do as much measuring and checking because of the limited time frame that I've established for these. So like sometimes the cubes are kind of they're not necessarily the cubes that I'm drawing or looking from sight. They're close, but I don't check the angles to perfection simply because I have a very finite amount of time to work on these. I have like 30 minutes to establish a composition, establish the objects, establish some sort of level of shading in there, value, and to do that in a relatively quick time, I have to kind of simplify those forms. So I have to like say, hey, this is close enough to the objects that I'm seeing, especially like blocks and cylinders. Like I don't want to get caught up in those. I don't want to get caught up in that minutia, the micro. So yeah, this is some things that I typically try to do with these drawings. I don't know what to talk about, so then in order for me to get these drawings in during the day, if you're wondering why the streams are so early, it's because I get up at 3 o'clock just so I can get the drawings up, get time to draw. Now, I already know that this cube and this cube do not look like what I'm seeing in real life. I'm actually seeing more of the top plane. But I think it's I think that right now I'm going to keep it as is because the lines are stable. And what I'm really concerned about is let's get the smaller objects, like the actual objects that I really care about, which is like this little, it's like a rubber unicorn or something. Like literally it's like a stretchy unicorn type thing. And I'm going to make it a little bit larger so that I can maybe get the details in. I think I started out drawing way too small. Do I have enough time? I keep forgetting. Okay, 25 minutes. I might be able to expand. So I could probably go ahead and make things a little larger. Simply because I have, although it took me 5 minutes just to establish that, so I can probably make things a little bit larger. Just shift the cubes back down. Or I like the way that the other cube looked like, but that's fine. So that'll give me enough, maybe a little bit more room to kind of make the drawing bigger or the objects bigger. I might just exaggerate the size of an object because no one's gonna know. You know, just make it bigger than it really is. That way it's easier to kind of draw. You know, I think that'll help. And again, as long as the character is stable, like the drawing is stable visually, like nothing seems like dramatically out of whack. Like everything seems like this is in place. So it's like a featureless. It literally is a featureless. I think it has like one worn down eye on the side here. So it's like a featureless unicorn with a lot of scuff marks that's been stretched out. It's like a little. It literally is like this unicorn with a. Now it looks more like a dinosaur because it's got the horn. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a dinosaur. Well, it could be a dinosaur. Who knows? All right. So I've been doing these drawings, and I want to do 100 days of them, and I want to do 100 more. Maybe we'll see how I feel after doing 100 days straight. If I'm able to, if I have like the physical stamina to do another one set. You know, maybe it might be after 100 days, it might be so ingrained in me that it won't be no big deal. But right now, it's kind of tough. You know, I wish I didn't have to get up so early to do some of these things that I'm doing. But, you know, I have to. So, like, I have these commissions I've been doing. I have to get up real early to get those out of the way, and then the day begins. But I'm very thankful that I got those commissions, and I'm very thankful for the patience that a lot of the individuals have, because it's taken me a long time to get a lot of them done. So I'm happy about that. Now the issue I'm gonna have is I have this chicken I've been drawing every day for the past week, and I gotta do some. Whoa! I knocked down another camera. Oh man, I forgot something. I gotta post this. I always forget something on these live streams. I'm always forgetting something. No joke. It could be like posting something, having something in the background, or I didn't set the camera here in the right position. So like, you know. So I like doing I can only do these live streams for about 30 minutes because the camera literally is in my way, because there's going to be a point where I have to get like right at it. Like my face is going to be kissing the paper at some point or another. And it's very distracting. I don't have the ability to kind of zoom out. Maybe if I have a camera, I can make a camera that zooms out, or figure out a way to position it that it's out of my way. But right now, I don't have that luxury, so I'm just gonna work with what I have here and just hope for the best. This bird I've been drawing forever. This is gonna be difficult. I gotta imagine the bird here. Like, I'm gonna draw through the object so I can imagine where the structure of the bird is, because right now I'm having a bit of a issue here. So the thing about this bird that I've been drawing all week, this like chicken little toy, this toy chicken, is like they're, especially with all the toys I've been drawing, it's so weird to draw them because they exaggerate everything. So like the head is like so massively larger than the body. It's like the same size of the body or larger. And so like I'm like struggling visually to kind of grasp this logically. So right now I'm struggling on the side here because the side of the, when I'm moving in the draw here, the side, my left side of my head is actually literally about an inch away from the camera and the ring light, so it's really, really distracting. So which is why I can only stand to do these things for like a certain amount of time. I just wish, you know, that wasn't the case. So I think this is close. I might not bother with it, you know, bother making any more corrections, because half the body is covered up. You're not going to see that, you know, like half of it's gone. You know, I only did this composition because I wanted to create this cast shadow on the chicken's face. So that's why I did that. I wanted like an extreme cast shadow. You know, I thought that'd be interesting to do, you know, and so I think it's all right. But I don't know. I feel like now that I have this mic, I gotta like filibuster for like 30 minutes, which I might be able to do. I might not. I don't know. I'm never really quite comfortable. I'm never really quite comfortable drawing either. I'm always on the edge of some sort of like just going beyond what I feel that I have the ability to do. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I like to think of myself and my art is like the jack of all trades. I'm not really an expert at anything. Like you see all these people, especially on the YouTube, they're like people on YouTube that are like, they're experts on something. Like they're expert figure artists, you know, or they really know how to use digital arts. They're experts at something. I'm just kind of a person that's kind of like, oh, I could kind of do this pretty well, you know. It's this is one of those things, I guess. So I think I got it up to a point where I can kind of move it further. So I know I exaggerated quite a bit. This thing is a lot smaller than this. But at the point that I'm at compositionally, and given the time I have, at like 17 minutes, it would take me so much work. Like I'd have to scale this up, I'd have to scale this down, I'd have to scale this up, just to correct all that problem that I'm noticing. And I'm not going to, simply because at this junction of the drawing, you know, it's not feasible given my time frame that I have allowed myself to finish this drawing. I'm not going to finish it, not in 30 minutes, but usually it takes me another 30 minutes to another hour to get it to a level of a finished completeness that I am content with, especially for like a sketch. So we're looking about an hour and 30 minute drawing, you know, and I just use the 30 minutes to kind of establish like the forms, get some of the shadows in, you know, and then maybe start defining those forms a little bit more fully. And if you notice, I don't really include the surroundings that much. I'll give like a horizon line. I'll give some indication of like the edge of a paper or something. I'll give some indication. There's actually these objects are on like these. It's on like some Christmas wrapping paper, and so I did that so that I can put like. So if I felt like it, I could draw those that parts of those Christmas wrapping, you know, the decorations on the Christmas wrapping. So I did that on purpose. But I wanted to do something else. I wanted to have different paper. I couldn't find it. I was like, I don't know any. This is the only thing I can find. I can only find cheesy Christmas wrapping paper. And I was like, gosh, this is going to make things difficult for me. I wanted something more unique. Yeah, so just really I'm not doing anything special for this time frame. You know, partially because, as I said, it's a short amount of time. The camera's right in my face, so I kind of lock up. I really need to get my head right here to get in position. So it's not the drawing live like this is not really where I like to be. Like maybe in the future I'll find a camera or something that I can kind of position out of the way, or some sort of stand or setting that allows me to get it out of the way. Like the first 20 of these sucked. Oh my gosh, I had two tripods literally bunched up to me, and the way that the tripods, the camera that I had was positioned, it gave me the camera is connected to the computer, and it has like a very small extension like cord. It's super short, so like because of the tripod, I had those tripods, I had to scrunch up in this in this small area just to get it, just to fit, just to do the drawing. And it was the worst. I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Like, no wonder I don't want to draw longer than 30 minutes or even 20, because I was like, if I moved around, I'd just hit everything. Now it's a little bit better because I have a clamp stand that's holding the camera, but it's still in the way to some form of, and like to an extent, not near as bad as it used to be, but still. I'm grateful that it's not on the ground anymore, taking up space, because that was the worst. We're talking like, it was just the worst. I can't explain it. Like, if you're claustrophobic, you would not want to be in that position, because it was like just really, really in my way. I felt like I was being compressed, and it probably made for bad drawing. You know? Yeah, so I'm doing fine. This is like an extra soft fine charcoal. It's almost too soft. I might need to go back to a medium or a soft. But like, It was weird. A while back, I got like a batch of vine charcoal. So I got a batch of vine charcoal like a year ago or so. And it was supposed to be like soft, and I could have sworn they mislabeled it or something, because the package, man, was like, it was, the sticks were like extra hard. Like I couldn't draw into the paper. I can make like a light line, you know, but they were extra hard, and it was the worst. I think I think that was like the first time I made a complaint. I was like, hey, Dick Blick, this is no me gusta. These vine charcoal sticks that you sent me suck. It's like I'm trying to draw with a metal rod and just digging into the paper. That's why I think that's why I didn't even finish using up those sticks, because they really don't draw. Like, they make a mark, but you got to press in like you're trying to demolish it. You know, you really got to dig into the shape, dig into the paper, and I just can't do it. So usually around this point is when I decide to maybe soften things up a little bit. You know, I usually use the back of my hand. It's just easier that way. This is a quick way to do it. And there's other ways that are more academic, I guess. But, you know, obviously I don't like doing it because it dirties your hand. But anyways, I forgot already. There we go. That's one thing I forgot. I forgot my hand wipes. Usually I have to keep them near me because, as I said, it's still quite claustrophobic in here. So I have to keep them near me so I don't get in a frame that looks like a blooper. So, you know, and then I've been playing around with blending stumps to some level of success or not. You know, I really don't know how to use them that well. I'm not like a blend stump fan, but I find that I've been using it simply because it helps soften up these forms more than the hand will. And you don't want to use your hand to blend everything, because your hand's got like grease on it, you know. I'm not saying I've been eating chicken, like KFC chicken or anything, but it's definitely not like your hands are the most, you know, clean surface to be scuffing around charcoal on paper that's going to absorb into the pores of the fibers of the paper. So I try not to do that often, you know. Anyways, I think this is the point where I start using. Good thing about using the back side of your hand, you still got a little bit of like charcoal. You can rub it on here to kind of still make it feel like it's white or lighter, but it's like an off tone. And soften things up. There we go. And then I'm going to move in with the charcoal stick. And I've been using the charcoal stick a lot lately. Yeah, I've been using it a lot lately. Yeah, so I've been using the charcoal stick a lot because it gives a more immediate value than if I use a charcoal pencil. neat little trick that you can do to kind of make a straight line with a charcoal stick is to put it on the side and just move it in a straight path, and it'll create a pretty crisp straight line. Although it takes some getting used to, because sometimes if you're not good, you mess it up a little bit. And it's not always the perfect solution, but it's a good way to kind of just have a quick straight line on your objects if you're looking for that type of mark making. I kind of did that on purpose. So it's kind of like I'm making the lines not perfectly straight, kind of on purpose here, so it feels a little bit more like organic, because these aren't like wood blocks, they're kind of like foam blocks. So doing that, I think, will help make it feel. This feels weird because the way that the bird is positioned makes it feel like he's going to topple over. You know? Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of play around with this area a little bit. I only have like 7 or so minutes. And then on these days I have a little bit more time, so I can do like I can have four objects as opposed to like 1 or 2. Or yeah, so on like 2 days out of the week, I can only have spare time to work on a still life that has at most 2 objects because of the just for crunch for time. I'm crunched for time on those days, and I just really don't have the opportunity to work on them. So it's one of those things that you have to be mindful of when you're drawing, because drawing is a very, very time-consuming action, and you got to learn how to have a little bit of time management and control of your day, because if you want to do it, you got to set time aside to work on such things. Well, that goes with everything, really. If you have certain like things you want to get better at, you're gonna have to set time to it. It just doesn't, and you got to adhere to it. It's one of those things that people don't do, is they'll set time, but they don't necessarily adhere to it. And I get it. I get the kind of like unwillingness as a person to avoid having to adhere to it, because some days, man, you just want to bury your head back in the bed, Who doesn't? We all want to bury our head back in the bed and go back to bed and get some sleep. Man, I know I do. I don't know how many hours I had. I think I may have gotten 5 today. Not sure. I'm not sure yet. But I still have not quite gotten this area. Like, even after drawing it so many times, it still seems really foreign to me, and I haven't got the wings correct by any manner. I think I got the head the most correct out of all of them, but maybe what I would need to do when I select some of these objects is spend some time just looking at them, spin them around, kind of getting the feel of what they look like in a 360 format, getting out with the idea what they look like a little bit, and maybe think about them as what think about how can I simplify these forms into shapes. So that's something to kind of start working towards, you know. So in this 100 days of drawing, so far I've noticed that I've improved, not necessarily improved dramatically, but I haven't been drawing like this for quite a while. So when you draw, when you stop doing things, you do get out of shape. You do lose something. You just don't. It's not like it just comes back. You know, it'll come back, but it's not like it's immediate. And some people it comes back like really quick, and some people it comes back like it takes a really, really long time, man. It's like warming up at the gym, you know. All right. So I'm gonna come back to this a little later today. Obviously, it's only about 50% done, so it seems that I can only, at this point, my skill level allows me only to get like I can get about 4 objects drawn in, kind of blocked in, and get like these simple mid-tones in there, drawn softly. And depending on the positioning of the camera that I have, sometimes the camera is in my way, sometimes it's not. Depending on the positioning of the camera, that will determine if I'm able to get towards the defining the shadows a little bit more. But so I'm getting better at figuring out where to put the camera. I have it in a setup that I can position it quickly, but sometimes I position it too quick, and I'm not able to get my drawing as complete as I want it to in 30 minutes. But I think this is a good start. I'll be able to complete it later on. On these days, I have more free time available to me. Anyways, I got to get going. I got to do some exercising. I got to probably go downstairs, drink some coffee. Drink a little bit of coffee. Who doesn't like coffee? Anyways, to wake myself up. I hope you have a wonderful day. Pierson out. Cheers.